Hello my fellow pirates, welcome back to the channel. I'm your Captain Doc Bernhardt, and today we will be returning to the world of X-Men, talking about one of the most popular and well-known members of the team, James Howlett, or better known as Logan the Wolverine. I know this will be a bit of a switch up from last video, where I hinted at talking about Gambit. However, I figured we might as well take a look at the older, grumpier brother figure to Rogue first and save Gambit for another discussion. So let's take some time to talk about Logan, and let's go ahead and take a look at his history and his origins. Wolverine, one of Marvel's most iconic characters, was introduced in the 1970s and quickly became central to the X-Men mythos. Known for his gruff attitude and regenerative powers and retractable claws, he stands out as both as a fierce warrior and a deeply conflicted hero. Over time, his stories revealed layers of his trauma, mystery, and resilience that define him. Wolverine's origins trace back to the 19th century of Canada, where he was born as James Howlett, a sickly child from a wealthy family. After a tragic event involving the discovery of his biological father and the sudden manifestation of his bone claws, he fled into the wilderness, taking the name Logan. He spent years living as a drifter, often guided and sometimes haunted by his animal instincts and healing abilities. Throughout the decades, Logan fought in numerous conflicts, including both world wars, honing his combat expertise and developing a cautious and hardened view of humanity. His long lifespan and regenerative powers allowed him to survive extreme conditions, but also led to deep personal losses. His involvement with various covert groups only strengthened his reputation as a skilled yet unpredictable operative. One of the most defining episodes of his life came with the Weapon X program, a secret government experiment that forcibly bonded indestructible adamantium to his skeleton and claws. The procedure shattered his memories, turning him into an amnesiac living weapon. This identity crisis became essential to his character, fueling his search for truth, purpose, and redemption. Logan eventually found a sense of belonging with the X-Men, and where he became both a mentor and protector. Though often at odds with authority and haunted by his past, he formed a strong bond with his teammates and fought tirelessly for coexistence between mutants and humans. His story continues to balance savagery with humanity, making him one of the most enduring and compelling figures in superhero fiction. Now we're at the part of the video where we discuss my personal thoughts and opinions, and the first question we always gotta ask is, how was I introduced to the character? I think like with many folks, they were introduced to Wolverine through the X-Men films. Ironically enough, it wasn't that for me, and I just remember what console it came from. So growing up, I had this educational console called the VTech, and it had like a paw print and a really big orange joystick. If you ever seen that, if you ever grew up with that, y'all, that was super fun. And there was this Spider-Man and Friends game that I played, where you actually got to play as Wolverine, and that was my first ever introduction to the character, but I didn't really know too much about him around that time. So I'd say probably when I was probably like 5, a couple years later. No, I'll say 6 years old, when I watched the X-Men film for the first time and got introduced to the other X-Men as well through the films, but mainly Wolverine, who was played by Hugh Jackman in the film, is how I got introduced a little bit further into the character, to see, you know, rough and gruff character, drifter that gets in Cyclops' face for making bad leadership decisions in his head and feeling like he doesn't care about people, you know, the whole ordeal with that, and then the love triangle, which I didn't really understand as a 6 or 7 year old. I didn't like, what? So wait, hold on, who, what, you know? I didn't know how love triangles work back then, and thank goodness I do now, but it's like, I still think it's a bit of a weird trope, but I kind of understand why people would have it there. And so that brings us to our next question. What do I enjoy about the character? Well, first off, as a lot of people really do, it is the way he fights, his abilities, his just this chagrin of a warrior is just crazy. It's just like something that you don't usually see out of a lot of media, because like it's like, and especially if you, in like certain other comics where he's more associated with Japan, is like, it's a really cool idea. I really like that idea. And on top of being able to find a wife around that time as well, it's a neat little concept that kind of connects him to Japan as a warrior, especially since he's also connected to World War II, and he forgets all about that. Of course, he's had quite a history. I mean, he was born during the time of, I think near the end of the Civil War for America, so he was born in Canada, and of course, and as explained in the history bit, it's very interesting how he's lasted this long, and I really enjoy the characters that have this idea of immortality being a torture, because in reality, because he spent all this time being alive for who knows how long. He's not necessarily immortal, of course, if you've read the comics, because due to his regenerative powers, his healing factor, he tends, but it still kind of has that same effect. He ages slower, kind of like how the Saiyans do, but in such a way to where it actually affects him. It actually changes the way he sees the world, having to deal with these loss of memories and having to deal with feeling like an animal sometimes is a very interesting concept, because it's like with a lot of these characters, excuse me, I'm trying to look for there we go. Put this up here. I'm eating lunch as we're recording, by the way, and looking forward to that cooking video tomorrow. I will also announce it tonight, so I'm not going to tell you what it is, but it's going to be a lot of fun. I digress. Back to the conversation. And so it's this idea of how flawed it's not just his flawed nature, it's his brokenness that really brings me in, and it makes it easier to really sympathize with a guy like him. Because at first you'd think a rough and gruff drifter who doesn't care, who's a lone wolf, you think you wouldn't be able to connect with him. But for some reason, Marvel was able to just create this sympathetic side to a character like him that just, it works so well. It works so well, not only in film, not only in the comics, not only in the game, which we will be getting soon. I'm actually very excited about that. And many other parts of media that really work. It's such an interesting concept, just taken care of. I will say this much: I have not seen a Wolverine story I have not enjoyed. Now, mind you, there's probably plenty of bad Wolverine stories. I haven't found any. If y'all know any, let me know down in the comments down below, because I'm pretty sure there's probably some that aren't great. Another thing that I really do enjoy is it shows that his gruff and rough attitude is more so just a defense mechanism to protect himself, because he's been hurt by a lot of different people over the years. It's been hundreds and hundreds of years, a lot of different people, whether it was Sabretooth, whether it was the government, whether it was somebody he cared about betraying him, or something like that. It's just such a crazy way to build up a character with such ferocity. Such a great thing, especially how Hugh Jackman presents him. It's a really, really, really great way, and he understands the character. He understands how to bring that side of that character out a lot. Now I'm gonna say this. I want to talk about this. I do not like Deadpool and Wolverine. I think the movie sucks, and the only thing good about that movie is Hugh Jackman. It's the only thing, that's the only concept, the only thing in there, his acting, the way he portrays the character, the way he handles Deadpool, that is Wolverine to me. Even with the cursing, I'm like, I'm used to seeing, because like I watched Logan back then. Logan was a fantastic film. But Deadpool Wolverine was such a weird movie. I'm like, I could care less about Deadpool. I don't like Deadpool. I've never been a fan of Deadpool. If I ever do a video about him, it will not be on an X-Men thing. I will probably crap on him the whole time because I don't like him at all. Ryan Reynolds is an excellent actor. He can do whatever he can, but Deadpool for me is an annoying piece of crap that I don't like watching. I will say though, the ending of the film did make me cry a little bit. Like I was tearing up. And of course, probably seeing the cowl was still really neat. I really like seeing the live action cowl. It looked pretty good to me. I know a lot of people probably didn't like that, but hey, not everybody's cup of tea. I understand. I completely understand. And so with that being said, let's go ahead and go to the next question. What do I not enjoy about the character? I'm having the same problem again. He's not a perfect character, mind you. It's I think, from what I understand, I haven't read the Ultimate Comics. If you do not know how to handle the character correctly, you can take it in directions that it doesn't need to necessarily go towards. Especially in the Ultimate Universe, where a lot of weird stuff happens. Like, one of them is, if I can remember correctly, Logan having feelings for a 16-year-old Jean Grey. Woof. Woof. No, thank you. You can keep that out. No, thanks. No. That's... Whoo. That's... Whoo. I think trying to miscategorize him as this, like, ladies' man as well that constantly goes from place to place, which is, like, that's another aspect I kind of don't like, because he kind of is that, and he kind of isn't. It's more so... It's another part of the character where he's trying to mask his pain, which makes a lot of sense. And of course, the alcohol, smoking, it's like, that's an aspect of the character that's gonna be a part of him, because it's like, he does it in a way to where he can actually feel like he's still kind of mortal, but not. You know what I mean? And so, it's just like, I don't know everything about the Ultimate Universe. Mind you, I don't like certain parts of it. He could be just literally just Wolverine, but, you know, in a different universe with some weird qualities here and there. Or not, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know if I'll read that. I'm still working on One Piece personally for right now. I am on Water 7. I just finished up. That right here. And we will be getting a Water 7 review. Be happy about that. Whenever I get finished up. It's probably not going to be for a while, but I promise you we'll get a Water 7 review. And to get back to the question, it's very difficult to put a character like him in a world of, I don't know, and I don't want to say in a kiddie environment, because he can work in a kiddie environment. You have to kind of dial back some things, like in Superhero Squad. Perfect way to make Wolverine. He's still kind of that gruff, angry, tough guy, loner, but still kind of not to the point where you can see him just like slash people about, killing folks. It's like, it just depends on who's writing him. It depends on what story he's in. I don't know. I haven't found anything I don't like about Wolverine. I'm not saying he's a perfect character. I honestly, if I had to say anything else, it's probably the love triangle bit with Jean Grey and Cyclops. I don't like that. I think it was a waste of time just to put pressure between him and Cyclops, which kind of works and it kind of doesn't. I feel like a love triangle feels a little, I hate saying the word contrived, but it just kind of doesn't work. And it feels like you're just adding a telenovela drama in it just to make it seem a little bit more realistic when it's not. I don't know if there's been real love triangles in real life. There probably has been. I don't know. That's one of the other things I can really say I don't like. It's just drama for no reason. I think it makes sense that somebody like Logan would butt heads with somebody like Cyclops, because Cyclops is the kind of guy that's like, I'm in charge. We need to get this done. I need you to do this, and this, instead of being you right now. And that's why they butt heads so much. It's like they disagree, and it works. It works. It does. I genuinely think it works. That dynamic works. But the love triangle thing is just adding weird drama that doesn't need to be there. And I know it's been around for a long time. It's been there since the start of the 70s, during the Phoenix Saga, that's a major part of the X-Men, like no doubt, huge part of the X-Men. And so I think we'll go ahead and move on to the next question. And how important is the character to Marvel? I will tell you, as many probably will also tell you, extremely important. He's probably the only reason why X-Men comics are still around, or X-Men anything are still around. And I'm not saying any of the other characters helped bring it back, but I think whenever he was introduced alongside, let's say, Storm, Colossus, I'm trying to remember, Nightcrawler, himself, and I think there was one other character, Banshee? Was it Banshee? I can't remember. It was in Giant X-Men #1 where they were introduced, and they had just, I don't know. But technically, his actual first introduction to the Marvel Universe was in a Hulk comic, fighting the Wendigo. But the point being here is like how he was so vital in bringing back the X-Men, reviving it, because it's been around since the 60s, and trying to bring in the old audience and some new audience to it. And so seeing a character like him be introduced in there with these really interesting powers and abilities to be a part of the story more and more as we go along, it's really interesting to me, and it works really, really well for Marvel. And so not only he is important to Marvel, I think he's important to a lot of other stories that have those kind of characters. They have these certain qualities, maybe not the same powers, but they have this certain quality about them that Logan has, this loneliness, this gruffness, this anger, like for example Hellboy, or Spawn, or there's a ton of folks. I mean, Scar from Fullmetal Alchemist Brotherhood. Like, they have this gruffness about them that remind me of Wolverine. And so, seeing that and being able to look at my hand real quick, seeing that, and not only other characters, and I wouldn't be surprised there's some inspiration here and there. I'm not saying he's the main reason why a lot of these characters exist, but I think he would definitely be an inspiration for a lot of different characters. Just a bunch of different characters that have that lonely drifter kind of style of character. So it just, it just, I don't know, it just, a lot of these characters for me do work. They do have those qualities that work. In some, not so much. It could be a little troublesome and annoying sometimes if you don't know how to do it right. With Wolverine, if you do him right, he won't sound like a mean butthole. And so that brings us to our next question. What would I like to see for the character's future? I'd like to see plenty of more stories, of course, but honestly, I'd like to see a good ending for this character. I would. For the comics, for something. I enjoy Logan, I do. But, I mean, at one point, it's going to run its course like it's always done. I want to see a good ending for this character, like in Logan. I want to see a good ending to where either he sacrifices himself or he's actually able to retire something. I don't know. It's not like I don't want to see the character anymore. Heck, we'll probably be seeing this character for a long time. I also heard Hugh Jackman is going to be playing the character for as long as he can. I genuinely just want to see a different mutants. I want to see new characters. And I want people to be inspired to make certain characters like Wolverine with some differences to make their own character, but also help leave a legacy behind that means so much to Marvel's mythos, because he is, and I'm going to be honest, no offense to the other X-Men that were introduced in that comic, he's probably the only reason why X-Men are around. Logan is a vital and emotionally powerful character within the X-Men, especially because of his rich comic history and how he's portrayed in the films by Hugh Jackman. He is one of my personal favorites, and he holds a special place for many fans as the X-Man. For his unique abilities, his layered personality, the character can be taken in countless directions, and I hope future stories continue to expand him in fresh and exciting ways for the next generation of fans, and also create a legacy for other characters to be inspired by. I hope you enjoyed your Thanksgiving, guys. I'm glad we got to spend some time talking about one of the most iconic X-Men. And as mentioned before, tomorrow I've got something very different cooking up for you, something outside of my usual videos, and I'm looking forward to recording it tomorrow and right after I finish editing this as well. With that being said, my Pirate Brigade, this is your captain signing off. I will see you tomorrow. I'm out. Peace.